Quick workouts and races on 5 to 10k have never been my favorite elements in my running career. At some point, however, it dawned on me that without them, dreaming of meaningful progress was futile. Since I was already dedicating those hours to training, it would be nice to improve my results. Along with intervals and tempo workouts, I started thinking about how to make these sessions more enjoyable and how to perform them at their best. And of course, being myself, I turned my attention to shoes. I tried the Brooks Hyperion Tempo. They didn't convince me at all. Then the New Balance Propel V4. They were just okay. And you could say I gave up, and for the past year the New Balance Rebel has been my main tempo shoe, even though it's just a daily trainer. I heard a lot of good things about the Adidas Takumi Sen from Adidas, and finally this year I managed to get hold of the new edition and put it to the test. So here we have the Adidas Takumi Sen 10. Before I go into my feelings about running in the Takumi Sen, I must emphasize that I bought these shoes myself and no one has influenced the opinions presented here. Let's start with the technicalities. First up, the upper. It's made of a very breathable mesh. It has a kind of plastic feel to the touch, which may be due to the fact that 20% of the materials in these shoes are recycled. I was a bit worried about this upper because I must admit my first impression upon touching it was that of cheap plastic from AliExpress. Fortunately, after wearing this shoe and completing several workouts, my opinion completely changed. Where it matters most, so on the foot, the upper fits perfectly, almost transparent to the runner. I think it's the first time in running shoes that I felt like I wasn't wearing them at all. To say that the upper is breathable is an understatement. The mesh has quite large eyelets here, so water, snow, etc. easily enter inside without much resistance, but they also quickly escape. So if you don't like running in wet socks, I should suggest looking for something else on rainy days. There's a standard room in the front of the shoe, which was just right for me. However, in the midfoot area we have a slightly snugger fit, and so for someone with wider feet this might be a deal breaker. On my slightly wider feet during longer workouts I felt some friction on the inner side at the arch of the foot. There's adequate space under the heel with a fabric heel counter, very thin as in racing shoes. Additionally, inside on the sides we have cushioning pads that increase comfort. On the outer side of the heel there's also a sling launch, a plastic strap that helps maintain the shoe's structure and also stabilizes the heel a bit. We have standard lacing, thin and loose tongue. It's not gusseted but stays in place, among other things thanks to the laces passing through it in the middle of the shoe. It fits around the foot well but also easily folds. Something to note when putting on the Takumi Sens because it can cause discomfort during running. The midsole is made of Lightstrike Pro foam, the same used in Adidas's flagship racing shoes such as the Adizero Pro 3. Under the heel we have 34mm of it and under the forefoot 27mm, giving us a 7mm drop. The midsole also hides Energyrods made of glass fiber, a change from previous versions where we had carbon Energyrods. Adidas boasts that this new version returns energy better, but I approach these claims with caution. But I have to give these shoes credit. During the run this return is definitely noticeable, but is it more not noticeable than in previous years? I don't think so. The midsole itself has also lost some flexibility, probably due to the glass fiber Energyrods. I know this is not a very reliable test, but look how much force I can put into bending this shoe, and the only thing that moves is a small piece at the front of the shoe. Fortunately, when you put on the Takumi Sens, it's not as noticeable, but still you can see the difference compared to the version 9. The outsole is covered with Continental rubber, very similar to the Adizero Pro 3, with a super flat tread, typically for racing. It handles wet asphalt quite well, but I wouldn't recommend these shoes for snow or sand. Under the arch of the foot we have a cutout in the foam, which not only helps reduce the weight of the shoe, but also highlights the energy rods. And of course this also affects stability. These are not the most stable shoes in the world, but again, they are shoes for short races and fast workouts where we care about weight and energy return. You get something for something. A size 42.5 shoe weighs 201 grams. Mine in size 46 weighs 221 grams. Still a very fantastic result. Alright, but how is it to run in these shoes? Since they're designed for races on 5 to 10k and faster workouts, I mainly did my tempo runs in them in preparation for the Berlin half. The workouts were at most 13 to 14 kilometers, and I must say that's the max I could get out of these shoes. Towards the end of longer runs I really felt the fatigue. It's not necessarily a flaw. These shoes are designed for shorter races, so they are more suited for that purpose. During warm-ups I usually felt that there wasn't any outstanding cushioning here. The feel of the ground is quite good. The pleasure of running in these shoes at low speeds isn't very high. It tends to push you forward a bit, and if you want to maintain a calm warm-up pace, not only can you feel the firmness of the sole, but the rebound isn't particularly comfortable either. However, the situation changes when we get to the main part of the workout, so the intervals. Accelerating in these shoes is very easy, but it also is easy to overdo it. This is something you need to get used to, and over time you will aim for the right pace by feel. I did intervals in these shoes ranging from 200 meters to 4k, and throughout that spectrum the energy return was definitely noticeable. From my experience, around the pace of 4-15 minutes per kilometer, I started to feel that these shoes were giving back. That was my threshold pace. When I ran slower, the sensations were just okay, but the faster I went, the more I appreciated the technologies used in the midsole. Running style surely has a big impact on this as well. Those landing on the midfoot will feel more benefits from this shoe than those landing on the heel. There's one more thing I have to mention about the day after the workout. It's probably the first time that the day after workout in some shoes I feel like I could give my legs away for scrap. The foam used here, fiberglass combined with intense training sessions, make the training enjoyable, but the calves feel like concrete the next day. It's also the matter of getting used to it and some strength training maybe, because over time I felt less discomfort after the training. After almost 150 kilometers in the Takumi Sen 10, I must say they are holding up quite well. You can see the standard signs of wear and tear, but 99% of my workouts were either on sidewalks and asphalt or on a track. I didn't run off-road because, well, these shoes aren't meant for that. The feeling of the foam after these workouts suggests that there are still several hundred kilometers left in these shoes. I don't notice much difference in the energy return between the first and last workouts. Do I recommend those shoes? Yeah, for sure. I mean, if you are looking for a shoe that will perform nicely during your 5 to 10k runs, those are probably one of the best shoes that you can get now. If it comes to the faster workouts, they will do just fine. I think still one of the best choices that you have right now. So if you have quite narrow foot and you can go and get those shoes, I definitely recommend it. If you have wider feet, then maybe you'll need to look for something else. All in all, a very good shoe, very good tempo shoe, very good racing shoe for shorter distances. Definitely recommend it. And that's it for today. Thanks for watching and see you in the next video. Bye.